how can we qualify for UPSC Prelims 2026? Now, given that this is November end, we are already entering into December 25. Very few months, handful of months remaining for the prelims. So the idea should be, even if an aspirant is beginning proper preparation now at this stage, which is considered a little late although, but even if we are beginning now, what are certain things we can do to make sure that selection becomes easy? We can handle the GS paper 1 of prelims as well as the more tougher one, CSAT of the prelims exam. Now, I'm sure those who are writing the prelims in the coming year, they understand that usually a lot of people say we need minimum of 1 year. A very good morning, good afternoon, Diptesh. Yes, I saw your comment there. Most welcome. Okay. So usually people say that if you are preparing for a prelims exam, you need to study for at least 1 year. 1 year is the minimum. 12 months to 15 months is the minimum time we need to invest. That's the usual belief. Sometimes it may happen that aspirants are aware about whatever is happening in the news. They are well read, well informed, but they have not been able to do a systematic preparation, which is also fine. It can happen sometimes. Ideally, if you ask me for UPSC 2026, we should have begun the focused preparation from June 2025 itself. And when I mean focused preparation, exactly what do we mean by a focused preparation? What do we really mean? What we mean is that prelims preparation is not very different from mains preparation. There are many overlapping topics here. I never believe in the kind of study strategy where I say that for prelims, you only prepare the current events and NCRT and basic books and don't even look at your optional. Don't even bother to try writing answers or don't even think about the essay paper. No, it doesn't work like that. Because UPSC is an exam which is very, very multidimensional, right? It has various topics, various subjects combined together. The perfect approach should be where we do focus on the prelims, but we keep in mind that ultimately these are the same concepts on which we have to build answers as well. So we should have a very open mind, and ideally it should be that from June onwards, June 2025, we should start doing the initial phase of prelims preparation. And now let's break it down into months. Prelims, we all know, is Sunday, that's 24th May 2026. Now, one very strong belief that I have, and I often tell students, is that do not study. There is no need to study 10 days before the exam. So if the exam is on 24th May, let's presume that we have to finish all our preparation by 14th May itself. Beyond that, there is no point of studying anything new. There is no point of stressing out either. There is no use. Finish everything by 14th May itself. Now, in reverse calculation, if we have started in June 2025, we should divide our preparation into two segments. One is preliminary preparation, the initial preparation. Next is the focused preparation. Few months where we have to be very dedicated, where practice becomes more important than learning new things. But that's the ideal situation given that we start from June. So that would give us June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. It gives us almost 11 months of good time. But then what if we have not been able to do that? As I said, many aspirants today, they are often telling me that, yes, I know about the news, I have been taking the news sessions, but then I haven't done a proper systematic preparation. I have read little NCRT. I don't even know which books should I follow. There is an overdose of information in the market. Should I focus only on current affairs or static subjects like the big four, history, geography, polity, economics, including IR? Should I spend more time in understanding these static concepts? So, how to exactly go about making sure that you are catching pace with the demand of UPSC? See, UPSC is a very evolving examination. If you look at the previous 10-year papers, a lot has changed. There used to be a time when studying broad theoretical concepts, practicing questions used to be enough. And you just needed to passively know what's happening in the news. It's very good that we know Russia-Ukraine war is happening. Maybe they can ask you about some treaty. They can ask you about the news in the place. That's it. But if you see from 2020 onwards, the paper has become much more dynamic. No wonder most of the questions are unexpected always. They hardly ever ask you something that's directly in the news. They would never ask you, what do you mean by the Bogor goal, for example? To which summit is it related? They would never ask you, is India a member of the APEC? Or where will you find the Zaporizhia nuclear plant? No, they won't ask you direct questions. The questions are deliberately confusing. They may give you 3 to 4 statements. That's when you have to really use your brain and be analytical about it. They may ask you in a 3 statement question that Zaporizhia, a nuclear plant that is situated in Iran, was attacked by US using the B2 bomber technology. Now, here is the confusion. Most of the aspirants will believe it's true because we know US did attack by the B2 bomber. To be very sure that no, Zaporizhia is not a part of Iran. Iran was in news for different 3 nuclear power plants. So you see, it's not just about knowing, it's about engaging actively with current affairs. That's the new demand of UPSC exam. So now let's presume that most of the students, and by the way, as I'm talking, let's not make this a monologue. Let's not act like the Hindu newspaper class. Your comments are welcome. If anybody wants to talk, I'd love to hear from you. So do let me know. Please ask questions. If you want any specific clarity, do let me know. Okay? I can unmute you and you can absolutely speak your mind out. And I highly welcome that. So please talk. Let's keep it interactive. Okay. Now looking at what to do if I have not systematically started from June 2025. Now it's November end, 27 November today. And let's say now I have that realization that I want to study very seriously for the exam. And I want to qualify UPSC 2026. It's a sudden urge and I want to be serious. Is this the right time to have that realization? Or are we too late already? See, let's understand one thing honestly. If you look at basic conventional wisdom, it is kind of late. A lot of people will say, yes, we should have started earlier. We would have got much more time to cover everything. Syllabus is really wide. At the same time, I also know some of my aspirants, some of my students who have not only prepared in the last 4 months, but they've also qualified for the paper. So it all depends on the kind of energy you are ready to put. Perhaps the time is less, but then you can invest more hours per day. You can be more energetic with your preparation. Because some aspirants, with them, things are counterproductive. They may be studying for 2 years, but by the time exam comes, they get a burnout. They are not able to revise and recall anything. They feel they know, but they've actually internally forgotten most of the things they studied, and that's again dangerous. So I wouldn't say now everything is over, not at all. It is December beginning. Yes, you can make a fresh start, but then it has to be very systematically done. So let's say from December to May 14, how do we divide our preparation in such a way that we take maximum benefit from current affairs? We know UPSC is dynamic. We know majority questions are going to be based on current affairs only, this way or that way. Even your static topics will eventually be related with current affairs, that we know. So now how to go about it? How to make sure that the remaining time that I have, December, Jan, Feb, March, April, 5 months here and half of May. So 5.5 months in total. What magic can we do? Let's understand. Let's divide these 5 months into 2 months and 2.5 months. Okay, let's do that. So let's make a plan where we divide these 5.5 months total into 2 brief time periods. Let's say phase 1 should be the foundational period. Okay, typically it's 1 to 3 months. Here, let's put it at 2 months. Let's create another set of 2.5 months. And let this be your intensive preparation period. During this time, you know, you will not only study very seriously, but you will also try to make sure that everything you have done in the foundation period, you will seal and lock within the intensive period. So now let's understand how to go about the foundation and then the intensive period, all for prelims 2026. Does anybody have any question here? Does anybody have any doubt? You can absolutely ask me any doubt about your preparation. Even if you have a doubt regarding how to maintain a positive mental frame, we all experience up, downs and ups, you know. We do become very demotivated. That often happens. It's very normal with UPSC. I'd love to hear from you, I repeat. If anybody has a comment, you want to talk, please go ahead. We don't get this opportunity in the Hindu class. It's all very one directional. But if you want to share your audio or share your video, you're most welcome. Okay, just let me know. If there's anybody who wants to talk, please let me know. I absolutely welcome your comments. All right, then. Presuming that there is no immediate question, let's proceed. Our foundation period is divided into our UPSC preparation period of 5.5 months that starts on 1st December. I'm presuming 1st December, okay? From 1st December to 14th May 2026, what to do, what can be done. Entire 5.5 months period should be divided into two phases. One is 2 months initial phase called foundation period. Second is called 2.5 months intense period. Now, how do I start with my foundation period? In the foundation period, NCERT is strongly recommended. There are aspirants who say that NCERT is not necessary. They don't enjoy reading NCERT. They don't follow. Perhaps because a lot of people tell you that you need to do NCERT from grade 5 or grade 6 to grade 12. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. The only NCERT you need to cover should be for history. History is extremely important. Then geography, again, very important. For polity, we call it civics in CBSE. So civics is very important. Your science book is very important indeed. And there is one which most of the students take for granted. They hardly ever study that. But then it's important, and that's sociology. Now, don't presume I'm saying this because that's my optional. It's not like that. I'm saying this because it gives you a lot of idea for GS paper 1 mains Indian society and GS paper 2 social justice. It's very, very crucial. Okay. So all these are the science books, science, civics, geography, history, sociology. These are highly recommended, but then there is no need to study from 6 to 12. What you can do is take up from 10th to 12th standard, because before 10th standard, everything is very, very foundational. It's very kiddish. It's very repetitive. You won't enjoy reading that. You will feel it's very monotonous. And you will also feel that, okay, this is basic common sense. Why should I waste time in that? And there's no time to waste anyway. So what should we do? In the initial 2 months of the foundation period, say that starts from 1st December 2025, after 2-3 days now, let's begin with NCERT if we have not done it yet. Now, if you have any issue with NCERT, you can let us know. Definitely, you can let us know. I can help you there with NCERT. But make sure you do 10th, 11th, 12th, all NCERT sets. If there are 2 books in 11th, finish them. 2 books in 12th, finish them. Very important, I repeat, NCERTs are crucial, right? So one thing is, in the foundational period, let's do all these NCERTs. Now, second thing, if my NCERTs are being done, I'm reading my NCERTs. How do I make sure I remember everything? Do I need to make separate notes from NCERT? No, you don't have to, not at all. There are 2 kinds of aspirants, one who write their own handwritten notes. Then there are those who never believe in making notes. They either study only from coaching material, which is not a bad idea because coaching materials are typically made by combining information from different sides. That's what we also do. When we give you the study IQ books, it's not like we only use NCERT. We take the standard books in the market, NCERT, add some things to it, add some questions, and that's the compilation we provide to the students naturally. So in case you are using coaching material, absolutely okay. I have no issues with that. But then if you want to make your own notes, it's a very good idea to keep making thick registers for each of these. If you want to make online folders, I have no problem. But I always prefer the writing style because for me, it's very psychological. The more you write by hand, the more you register in your mind. It's as simple as that. So what you do, take all the crucial points you have studied from NCERT. You can't write everything. But for example, you like a definition. For example, you are reading the science book of grade 11th, say. 11th will have different books, physics, chemistry, biology. I would not say physics is important, but definitely chemistry, biology will be important. They will be important. Suppose you pick up a nice definition about, say, DNA, or you pick up a very nice information about the CRISPR scissor technology. Write it down somewhere. Write it in a folder which is of science, or write it in a register that you make for science. Don't write everything. Don't have to repeat the whole NCERT in writing, just the very, very remarkable points. Rest, believe in the power of subconscious remembering. All of us are worried if we have studied something, we will forget it. No, we don't forget it. It just fades down. It's there in the subconscious. In the prelims, if you see something again, it will come in your mind. In mains, recalling can be tough. But in the prelims, if you have studied once or twice, it will come back to you when you see the option in the question. So for me, NCERTs are important, and I strongly recommend them. Next, there is a huge confusion about history NCERT. Should you study the modern ones, the latest ones? Should you study the old ones? My answer would be please study the old ones. Old NCRTs are brilliant. They not only cover everything in detail, they also provide a good coverage on art and culture. I know most of the people use Nitin Singhania for art and culture, but that's a good book. It's a very heavy book at the same time. You need time to study Nitin Singhania. So, therefore, NCERT's old versions will enrich you with art and culture. Similar work will be done by sociology books too. They will give you a good picture on art and culture. Done. Now, if NCERTs are crucial, just do them from 11th, 12th, and grade 10. More than enough. Second thing, there are various test series available. In fact, you get books in the market that give you mock test questions based only on NCERT. It's a very good idea to solve them. A brilliant way of revising. You can get those books. You can have online mock tests that are based only on NCERT books. You can also solve them because rather than reading the chapter again and again, doing mock test will also be a revision for you. So mock test on NCERT again, very, very important. Now, third thing, a lot of people also believe that now it is December, I am starting with my first phase of preliminary preparation foundation. Let me not even think about my optional subject. Again, that's a bad strategy. Someone who is not even looking and thinking of the optional means that the person knows somewhere that I may not be selected. You see, it's about the lack of confidence. It's evident in that. Then people wait all the time up till the result of prelims and they will definitely screw up their mains exam. Because optionals are heavy subjects. You are taking up a commitment towards a full proper subject, whether it's socio, whether it's PSIR, or whether it's geography, history, whatever. All of them are intense. So no matter which you choose, now December is the time you have some idea about which optional would you want to take. I'm not saying sit and study immediately, but you should know what all topics are there in the paper one of the optional. Usually paper ones are the easy ones in every optional. Paper two are the tougher ones. They are applied, they are more concrete, they need using, they need case study based approach. Paper one is more static, it's easier. So at least cover a very conceptual coverage of which topics are there in my paper one of the optional. A very good example, if it is sociology, you can take so much help from NCERT grade 11, grade 12. Same if it's history, geography, or polity, PSIR. Then if it's psychology, then you have NCERT books for psychology as well. So no matter what's your optional, make sure you have some broad understanding in your free time. You can give a Sunday to that. You can give at least 2 days a week. I'm not saying study every day, but just 2 days a week to get some clarity about paper one of your option. Very important, start from now. Next, current affairs. Yes, current affairs are the whole backbone of the UPSC exam. Now, no matter which PYQ, which previous year paper you see, it's true that in the GS paper one, 70% paper can be tackled and handled only if you have a command of current affairs. Here are two kinds of aspirants. One who only passively know current events. If you ask them, they will tell you, yes, I know there is a volcano which burst recently in Ethiopia. I know about that. They may not know about the shield volcanoes. They may not know that UPSC might not quiz you on where was this volcano. UPSC might quiz you on which kind of volcanoes. Shield, or what kind of volcano was that? Stratovolcano. So we should know a little bit in depth about the news that is now in the current affair. That's in the headline. That's very important. So only passively knowing, okay, I hear that, I know that. That works in the state PSC exam. If you are a passive recipient of news, you will do really well in the state PSC. State PSC gives you direct questions. RBI entrance exam, SBI, IBPS, everywhere you will get straight questions. But for UPSC, you need to engage with these topics. I always say, engage with these topics as if they are living beings, personify them. You know about the volcano? Now comes into the question, it's very easy to know which volcano and which area, but then you should know what type of volcano is that. What are shield volcanoes? What are the types of volcanoes? All covered in geography NCERT. We should know. What is the composition of the lava? Because it was in the news. Does it also impact the air pollution? That's a question that was coming in the news right now. So will it make the NCR Delhi pollution worse? All these. Very, very important to know about volcanoes there. Yes? So That is the way you engage with the topic. Another very good example I can give you. Say, yes, Priyanshu, thanks for the question. I'm coming to that now. In case we are, say, looking at another news event, we say that, okay, in the news right now, we are looking at G20 Johannesburg Summit. Now, we should know then everything about why did America put an accusation against South Africa of racially exploiting the white Africans, people who are American descendants there. So we should know a little bit about the colonial history of South Africa here. We need to know about apartheid. Here comes Nelson Mandela in the picture, Mahatma Gandhi in the picture. We should also know about which farm did Mahatma Gandhi say, Tolstoy farm. We should know about that. We should know about the G20's history, everything. Members. They may ask you how many members by selectively taking few names. They can ask you. You should know what was the New Delhi Declaration when India presided over the summit. Ubuntu we spoke about. Yes? So all these are crucial now. That's how you engage with the topic. And the best way of engaging with topics is, you will agree, I'm sure my students from the morning Hindu news will agree, that the best way is to do a group study. Sitting passively with a newspaper and reading, you cannot engage with everything. Sitting in a group, let 10 people give you the idea. Let's create a community. You can do that also. If you want, you guys can create a separate community. We do the news analysis, make a small group. Whenever anybody has an idea about a current affair, any perspective that you want to share, go ahead and share that. That way, ideas come. And we know that we have to cover the news 360 degrees. And believe me, take it in writing from me. After analyzing plus 10 years of paper, there's one assurance I can give you. If a student has done 360 coverage of a news event, all the news events in the last 10 months, there is no way you won't pass the GS paper 1. 100% you will pass. That's what GS is all about. So, actively engaging with current affairs last 10 months. What are the best sources? The Hindu is a very good source, but I will not say that's the only source. I won't say that. Apart from the Hindu, if you enjoy reading Economic Times, if you have the time for it, if you like using the yearbooks, I find them very boring, very monotonous, but there are students who enjoy that. Then you have McGraw Hill, Spectrum, all these publications also come, which give you 1 year updated prelims news. You can just run a lens on that. Plus, we also provide lots of coaching material in which we cover all the monthly magazine. Again, a very good idea. By taking news sessions and monthly PYQ practice sessions, revision sessions, again, you keep revising again and again. And that's the beauty. See, one very famous person said, the only way you can be good at something is to do it multiple number of times. And I agree. I agree. As a teacher, as a mentor, I agree. There was a point of time in 2011 when CSAT was it just started actually. And even the mentors were confused. How to teach children maths and comprehension for the CSAT. It's a very difficult task. Within few months, you are taking the responsibility of teaching an aspirant mathematical and comprehension ability. So that time, most coaching institutes were not ready to provide any CSAT coaching. Nobody wants to invest in that because they know there is less audience and there's no way a teacher can teach them. Now today you look 2025. Today, not only we have avid classes for that, but the teachers actually have a hang of it. The mentors know exactly how to teach you in a period of few months to train you to handle UPSC level comprehensions and maths questions. How did that happen? Was it a magic? You have to upgrade. You have to practice, expose yourself again and again, again and again, and then methodologies start developing. And that's how it is. So with current affairs also, the more you revise, the better you become. Otherwise, it will sit in your mind. You have studied, but it will keep on eating dust. So revise, revise, revise. That's the best thing. There's a reason why we don't forget gossip. Today, if I say something very interesting to Terukula or say Michelle or say Dishank or Diptesh, nobody will forget that, yeah, ma'am said on 27 November something personal, something about some friend or something. We'll remember that because it's gossipy. So why can't we have the same gossip approach towards current affairs? Enjoy it. President Trump's gossip towards G20, carbon finance gossip, what's happening in West Asia. The moment you start finding it juicy and interesting, yes, you will remember, and that's what you need to do. Last but not the least, in the first 2 months, which I call foundation phase of preparation, December, January, these 2 months, if you really want to join a professional course, now is the time. If you don't join by February, then don't join it, please. Don't waste money. I strongly suggest, on a very honest note, I'm not endorsing any course right now. It's just a one-on-one interaction. If you have join it in December, February, December, January, and then continue with it. If you haven't joined anything, until February, it's better not to join them because last minute nobody can coach you. December could be a good time you start with a professional coaching for GS, current affairs, news, in case you are needing that kind of help from a proper teacher or a mentor, right? Now, 2 months are done. You know what I have to do? NCRT, thorough revision of current affairs, talking about current affairs, news analysis. Paper one, you have to look at your optional a little more closely. All that is there. That's it. That's all. One more request, just one more request I have. As you are doing this first 2 months, December and January, just give yourself 2 days a week a challenge. 2 days a week challenge. I'm not asking for a day extra. 2 days in any week. Take Monday, Thursday, take Wednesday, Saturday as a monotony breaker. Try writing mains answers. Push yourself. And typically, do not try anything from history, geography. Just try either from Indian society, try from science, technology, international relations, or polity. Just try writing these answers. These are more challenging answers. Okay? Try writing. 2 days of the week, two answers each. That's all. That's all. That's it I want you to do in the first 2 months. Now, Priyanshu is asking, okay, you've taken BSc Botany. Botany is very scoring, but then you are confused whether you can take up sociology. See, sociology doesn't need any kind of a technicality, but sociology has some benefits. The course is very small as compared to some other topics. It's less elaborate. Second thing is it's easy to remember. It's very relatable. And most of the topics are completely overlapping with GS paper 1 and 2. Some are overlapping with Indian constitution, where in most of the articles, schedules, there are thinkers, but thinkers are less dense as compared to PSIR. Sociology is a great choice any day for anybody. Definitely, it's more scoring and it's easy to write answers. But then, which one should you take? Should actually depend on which do you think, whose syllabus do you think you can cover faster and with more accuracy? If you feel botany is too elaborate, it's scoring, I agree. But then if it's too much to do, it's an overdose of syllabus. In that case, you can definitely opt for sociology. The only challenge you will have as a science student is writing part. Am I not audible? Terukula, am I not audible? Hello, can please anybody confirm? Am I audible or not? Can you confirm once again? Am I audible or not? Audible? Thank you, Diptesh. Terukula, I hope it's fine now, bacha. It's fine. Can you hear me? Okay. Dishank also says. Okay, so Priyanshu, answering your question there, choose which you can finish in a given time frame. There's no harm in taking botany. It's a little technical. In sociology, the only challenge will be answer writing for you. Understanding is very easy. Paper one is very easy. Two will be challenging. Lengthy answers. If you really have to take sociology, you may need to work on your writing skill a lot. Introduction, body, conclusion, how many quotations to put, where to change the para. Take up a coaching for that. If you're ready to take professional help, I think sociology is a very easy optional. It's a very scoring optional also. Definitely you can take that. Your science background will not interfere there. What does Dishank say? Dishank says 7 to 8 hours are going in current affairs. There is optional as well. So daily goals sometimes are not met. But then that's not just with you, Dishank. It happens with each one of us. I'm very happy that you are making daily goals because micro planning is crucial. But it's also possible sometimes that you do skip on. You do sometimes skip the target that you have made for daily coverage. In that case, don't get demotivated at all. It happens with everyone. It's very, very normal. Don't be demotivated. Listen to the toppers interview. Listen to the guidelines given by those who are the rankers in the exam, and then create easy to accomplish plans. Or also what I call it as the refreshing strategy. Refreshing strategy is very good. How can you do refreshing strategy? What I feel is Monday, take up more intense subjects. Tell yourself that Monday I will accomplish, say, a given portion of history, geography, 2 hours each, for example, or polity. That day, take the more tough ones for yourself, like science and tech. Tuesday, give yourself a break. Give a light one. Only study what you enjoy. There must be some topics you like, art and culture, economy, perhaps. Just giving you an example. You can write mains answer practice that day. Look at the paper one of your optional. Read the newspaper, spend time there, but tell yourself that I will not spend more than 2.5 per day in current affairs. I will only revise quickly. I will do some PYQs or MCQs, and I will focus on what is the news today. 2.5 to 3 hours per day is enough, not a moment more than that on current affairs. So one day tough subjects, one day subjects of your liking. That way you cool off more easily. Perhaps that could really help you. Okay? All right. I hope I'm audible. Terukula, can you refresh the link, bacha, once, please? Just refresh it once. That should help. Okay. Yes, aspirant. Which optional to take? All right. No problem. You see the syllabus of 2, 3 important and well-known optionals like PSIR, but what's your background? Like, are you a science student or are you a humanities student? Do let me know. Okay, Priyanshu, that's interesting. Then you may have seen me before. Okay. I used to work there for the sociology earlier. Okay. Now it's audible. Wonderful. Okay, so aspirant, do let me know what's your background like. Are you a science student? Are you a humanities student? Accordingly, we can take a call. Okay. In that case, you could take up psychology, anthropology, sociology, PSIR, see which fascinates you more. Every day we are doing news. Do you think you are more interested in knowing the international relations that's very dynamic in nature? In that case, PSIR could be very good for you. Benefit with PSIR is that you also side by side prepare for prelims as well as interview as well as other GS papers because constitution and articles are everywhere. Even essay writing will be easy if you take PSIR. I have interest in IR. Then think of PSIR. It's a wonderful option. Again, the same thing comprehensive course, very scoring and very engaging to study. Paper one may have some theories which you initially may not like, but slowly as you relate them with current affairs, you may learn to enjoy that. Look for a professional coaching for PSIR. Maybe you can take it for 5 months like that, or otherwise, at least start navigating yourself. Look at the NCRTs, proceed with a standard book like Lakshmi Kant. That's very, very good, by the way. Okay, and then think of moving towards PSIR eventually. But if you like IR, PSIR should be very good for you. Essay, the philosophy essay, don't worry, I'll take classes for that, Dishank. For that, I'm going to be there for you. Don't worry, we'll take classes for that. Okay, Priyanshu, if there's any way I can help you in sociology, I'm always available. Okay, right. Now, coming back to the agenda, foundation course is done. In the prelims, the second phase, that's the 2.5 months period, should now go in intensive preparation. And now comes the tough part. February, March, April, and the half of May. What should I do to make sure I get selected? One, you've done your NCRTs already. Now is the time, integrate those concepts and evolve into standard books. Which are the best books? There is no definite answer to that. To each his own. But the most common and the well known books would be, say, for polity, it's Lakshmi Kant. It is undoubtedly Lakshmi Kant. You take D.D. Basu, you take the Bear Act. These are more complex. Spectrum is a good solution for those who do not like reading elaborate, thick books. But Lakshmi Kant's coverage is very good. While doing Lakshmi Kant, it's not necessary you cover each and every page. It's a very dense book, I agree. Take up topic by topic. Try to cover the most important parts first, and then as and when you can keep studying from that in parts also. But Lakshmi Kant is really very good. Similarly, if you talk of history, old NCRTs, and then Bipin Chandra is a very good option for modern India. Now is the time with your NCRT background, add on to it by using these standard books. Sociology, social problems in India, there is a book called Ram Ahuja. I'll write it down. Again, a very good addition for your prelims exam. Then Nitin Sanghania, brilliant for art and culture. I agree, some students struggle with Nitin Sanghania. For that, Spectrum, McGraw-Hill, and many other, that small ones, interpretations are also available in the market. If you think these tough books are really challenging for you, then don't get demotivated. It's very common. Without these also people get selected, so you can choose that also. But these are the most standard ones that we recommend. In the second phase, that's the intensive phase, it is also the time now that you have concepts from NCRT, you are consulting these standard books, try to relate it with the main syllabus also. Don't forget doing that. Because when you study Lakshmi Kant, you are anyway preparing side by side for prelims and mains together. Do remember. After all, in the mains also similar questions comes in polity and governance GS2. So now integrate your preparation. Make sure you study for the prelims, but you are also having a perspective for the mains here. History, geography, polity, economy, IR, science, and tech. Study them in such a way that you can also understand and try to attempt the mains questions too. That's called a more intensive preparation. Third thing, dynamic nature of preparation is very important. As I said, don't just listen to the news, it's not going to help you. Relate the static topics that you read to the dynamic topics. Let me give you an example. You are doing economics, the big four topic for prelims. You've studied macro microeconomics by using a standard book or economics NCRT. Suppose you read about purchasing power parity, or suppose you've read about national income here. You read about multidimensional poverty. Engage that with current affairs. See in India which is the state with highest multidimensional poverty. See when did Niti Aayog start making MDPI? Who in the world gave the concept of MDPI and when? Which 12 indicators is it based upon? Looking at national income. In India, how do we measure poverty? Which were the different committees that were created to give us poverty measurement in India? What is purchasing power parity? How do various institutions like ADB, World Bank, UN, they create their own interpretations of purchasing power and then create a poverty line? All those questions come in the picture. See the latest data on that and write it in one of the online note or write it with a register or a pen manually. It's a very good idea once before you sleep, 5 days a week, just like we eat tablets and supplements. Run an eye through all your statistics. Exposure is remembrance. The more you see them, the more you expose to them, the more you will remember. Another idea could be writing it on a huge font and sticking it somewhere in your room, putting it as a reminder in your cell phone. Nowadays, people have fancy reminders which remind them to walk and to drink water. You can also have reminders which tell you about the latest data that you had learned in the last few months. That way, the more you expose to them, you can do it because brain has that power. If we can remember email IDs, passwords, phone numbers, we can definitely remember the data as well. The same data you will use in your essay writing and answer writing. That will help. Coming back to now another big question. Now we have reached, suppose, February 1st. Is it the right time to start with CSAT? Absolutely. CSAT is not something that can be done in 1 month only or 2 months only. You have to start from February, March, continue all the way to April, and then till 14th of May. CSAT is very important. Majority of well-prepared students are failing because of CSAT. You might wonder, why do people fail so much in CSAT? Out of 200 marks, you are only supposed to get 66 passing marks, but it's not easy. Because CSAT is aptitude test, civil service aptitude test. You can't learn it. It's not a historical or a geographical concept that you've just seen. What do you mean by the new fold mountains, old fold mountains, block mountains? You learn the theory, you are done. Aptitude comes with practice. It's a skill, like talking in English or doing maths questions or cooking or driving. It's a skill. It cannot come in one day. How do we prepare for CSAT? Please start early. Start from January last week or 1st February itself. How do we start? For reading comprehension, I have already introduced my classes. In case anybody wants to join them, feel free. You can take up our SIP course, Success in Prelims Initiative. This will support you till June 2026. Or otherwise, if you have any doubts, I'm there to help you anyway. The best strategy is from 2015 to 2025, do the previous year questions, PYQs. Very important. Very important. For maths, there is a book called R.S. Agarwal. R.S. Agarwal maths book. For those who are not taking any coaching or tuition, they can study R.S. Agarwal. They can study grade 10th NCERT maths book also. R.S. Agarwal also has a book on verbal, non-verbal reasoning. Either take a coaching for that, a short 3 months coaching. If you think you cannot, you can also use R.S. Agarwal non-verbal, verbal reasoning. That should be enough. It has a lot of practice questions, lot of topics. Another toughest area, reading comprehension. Why? Because CSAT has total 80 questions and every year we get about 28 questions positively from comprehension. It's a dominating segment of this exam, yet complicated. How do we prepare? So I often teach my 6.5 method to solve the passages. In case you want to know more about that, definitely we can have more Zoom sessions or you can reach out to me. take up the coaching plan. That's a very good idea. In case you're not prepared for that right now, just understand that this is verbal ability, not English. Even if you don't have a great vocabulary, you don't have a great command over language, it doesn't matter. All these passages are taken from newspaper editorial articles. Anyway, if you're following news, you are abreast with current affairs, you will understand these passages. Don't do any kind of guesswork in CSAT. Don't do the opposite method, reading the options first and coming to the passage later. No. Proper sequence has to be followed. Passage, then question, then option. And then you can start eliminating. I often teach about these rules to make life easy. Have a look at the PYQs. See the kind of questions that are being asked. If you still think you can manage alone, wonderful. Practice the PYQ, go ahead, not a problem. They are very repetitive in nature. The passages have the same kind of language and content. But if you think it's very tough, you absolutely cannot understand these passages, I am just a click away. You can allow me to join in your participation in your journey, and I will professionally teach you the art of doing comprehension in RC. Also, do remember you don't have to solve all 80 questions in CSAT. 55 to 60 is more than enough. One more thing, do not start following the question paper order. Take one topic at a time, otherwise, speed will not finish. Speed will get devastated. Either do RC first, or do maths first, or do data interpretation first, or non-verbal reasoning first, and then go to other segment. Use a ruler to mark the OMR sheet. Be very careful. And then data interpretation is the most scoring part in CSAT. Never skip that. This RS Agarwal verbal and non-verbal reasoning will provide you ample questions in that. You can have a second-hand book, you can download online or buy the book. Practice thoroughly. DI is highly, highly scoring. Okay, so use these methods. That's very important. And in the period of intensive preparation, as you are focusing on completing the syllabus of the big four subjects, history, geography, constitution, by using standard books plus NCERT, link them constantly to current affairs, plus link one current affair to another. What's the best way of linking current affairs? If you ask me, map is the best way. Yes, map is the best way. It is highly suggested that keep a map with you. You can keep an atlas with you or a globe with you. Not a problem. It's more interesting. Whenever you read a news, yesterday we read a news about India, Canada signing a rare earth material agreement. Go to the map. Look at Canada. Look at the border of Canada. Please engage by cross-linking yourself. Remember the Khalistani controversy that happened in Canada. Do remember the controversy about US-Canada border. Look about Canada in terms of size, where does it come? Look which other platforms are India and Canada together a partner in. That's very important. That's about cross-linking affairs. Geography to history, history to polity, polity to economics, economics to art and culture. That's the best way. Keep a map with you. For every place you know in the news, look at the map. You're reading about the volcano in Ethiopia, look at Ethiopia. See how many countries is Ethiopia bordering. I'm not asking you to recall and remember everything. See at least. See that this was also the area where we had a large refugee camp. Look at the border with Egypt. What's the controversy about refugees there? Yes, there are so many refugee, big, huge camps here. Immediately look at how was it related to Moroccan crisis. If Moroccan is one large country in Sahel, what is Sahel area? Look at the map. What was the Green Wall Initiative of Sahel? That's how you cross-link. It won't take much time. As you are reading the news, maybe you take 45 minutes extra, but you will always have a very solid command over current affairs. That's important. Now you're talking about Bangladesh. You know Sheikh Hasina is now they are requesting her to come back to Bangladesh. They are telling India that please send her back. This needs you to have a good understanding of India-Bangladesh relation, especially with regards to the water treaty. The International Water Treaty, the convention that Bangladesh became the first South Asian country to sign. So you should see the map about Meghna River, Padma River, Brahmaputra's path, which river basins are shared between the two, where is China coming in between, which are the two projects, river valley projects that are in the news. Very important. Very, very important. Similarly, India, Taliban is in the news. So look at the border dispute, look at the Durand line. Think about very carefully. Why is India wanting to add Afghanistan to the Indus Valley Treaty? Indus Water Treaty, 1960. Why? Look at that entire area. Chenab, Satluj, Ravi, Bias. Look, Create a nice mnemonic for yourself. Make a nice fancy short form or something so that you remember the order of those rivers. They can ask you which river is, you know, uh, above northwards and which river is southwards. That's very important. Where do these drain? So see, from polity we jumped into history. From history we jumped into geography, but that's okay. That's the way we should study. It becomes like a puzzle. It's a game. It's a lovely approach. Try that. So don't read current affairs passively. Read it with everything you have studied, and then you will revise. For every topic, do that introspection. If you have 360 degrees coverage, nothing can stop you in GS paper 1. That's the demand of UPSC after all. Right? And now cross linking becomes important. Now let's presume we have finished both these periods. Our intensive preparation is done. Foundational preparation is done. Revision is a very big challenge. I am not somebody who is a fan of revising everything at once. It is impossible. It is scary. It is monotonous. If I say no, from April, I will only sit and revise. How much will I revise? How much will I revise? How can we revise so much? It's not possible, right? So, what is a better thing to do is like revise every day. Revise every day. If you are someone who is studying for 8 hours, you can give 1.5 hours to revision exclusively. Whenever you start a new topic, just before you jump into it, it's a good idea to look at the previous 3 topics swiftly. Never make lengthy notes. Don't repeat the same thing in the book. Make flow charts. An excellent way is to make flow charts. I can give you another example here. I'm reading the topic on fundamental rights, say, part 3 of the Constitution. I want to now remember so many fundamental rights. I need to now know articles from 13, perhaps, to articles that go up to 34. How do I make sure all these articles I know? Don't write everything. Just make a quick flow chart. Fundamental rights, part 3rd of the Constitution. How many articles? Quickly write here. Suppose I'm saying articles 13. 2, I will continue till articles 30, till article 33. Now revise in your mind. Don't write everything. You know what is article 14, 15, 16, 17. Now you got stuck in article 18. I don't know what's article 18. Now open the chapter and see why was I missing on article 18 related to a current affair. You will never forget. Suppose I say article 18 spoke about not giving any titles to any prince or any king or any queen. Now related to the modern day reality. Think about how Indira Gandhi initiated that. Who was in the picture that time? How relevant is it today? Do we have Nizams and their families today? Are we allowing them to have any such title? Think about it. But then do we allow it in the case of Paramveer Chakra or Bharat Ratna? From there, think quickly of Bharat Ratna. When was it instituted? Last, who received it this year? Proceed now. Wherever you stuck, do an investigation on that. You will never get stuck again. That's it. And immediately summarize in the form of a flow chart, small, crisp arrows, pointers, any fancy kind of diagram. Do a diagrammatic representation of the chapters that you study. Never make elaborate notes. Nobody else should understand your notes. One student asked me long back when I was working with Byju's that, ma'am, what's the best notes? How do we make the perfect notes? I said the best notes are those which only you can understand. Even your friend or even I cannot understand what is this? What have you scribbled? But you will understand. That's the beauty of diagrams, right? That's called symbolism. That's symbolism. If I do like this, you will understand, I will understand. Somebody from a remote interior area who doesn't know this body language behavior will not understand. So that's the beauty of diagrammatic notes. Look at them and you should know what does that symbolize. That's a perfect way of recapsulating. So do your daily revision, 1 hour, 1.5 hour. Do a weekly revision. If you have a friend with whom you can revise, perfect. Here on our platform, we are also trying to do on the 1st or the 2nd of every month, monthly revision. But that's for a limited time. I can definitely not cover everything in that 1 hour. You can have friends. You can join online communities. It's an excellent way. Don't get deviated. Just discuss those current affairs. Revise. Ask yourself. Ask anybody in the family for fun. Hey, do you know? Recently, Mongolia was in the news. Which exercise was that and what's the main idea there? Obviously, that person will not know because not everybody is preparing. You tell them. When you teach, you remember more. So these are the strategies we can use. For CSAT, last 10 years question papers are very good. I repeat, always use a map. No matter what you're studying, use a map. And then every day, do at least 15 to 20 mock test questions for every topic that you study. Otherwise, it will not be complete. I have done 2 chapters today. Let me quickly solve about 15, 20, 25 objective questions on that. Use good quality, famous test series, use online series. That's a very good way of sealing your preparation. Make a separate register or a note for statistics. As I said, before you sleep every night, rather than taking a tablet, take the statistics tablet. Run one eye through that. Hang it somewhere in your room. Hang a map on your room. It's good. When you see something, you remember something even better. And now, a lot of students are asking, they do ask often, which are the standard books that you recommend? I never endorse a single book. And there's one thing I want to be very clear about. For CSAT, I have never recommended a book. For essay writing, I never recommend a book. It's a bad idea. But looking at history, yes, we have standard recommendations. Bipin Chandra's book for modern history, A Brief History of Modern India, is a good book, but not everybody likes that book. It's a thick, descriptive book. For those who don't like, please try Spectrum book. Spectrum is very good. Sorry, this is Spectrum. A Brief History of Modern India is Spectrum. Right? Use that. If you cannot use Bipin Chandra's thick modern history, use Spectrum book for modern history is equally good. No problem. It also has practice questions. Then, if you see medieval history, the old NCRT is the best. Ancient Indian history, old NCRT is the best. It's available on Amazon, I think, at quite an affordable price. I'm not sure if it's available somewhere else or you can borrow from a library, even better. Maybe it's available online through a PDF. But these are the best books. Don't use the new NCRT. It's not good. It's really not good. Old NCRTs are the best. Now, looking at geography, some people prefer Majid Hussain. Some people are preferring G.C. Leong. Again, your call. I'm not forcing for anything. There are people who study spectrum geography and then also they do well. Whatever book you use, it should have the correct information. It should cover everything, right? So either pick up G.C. Leong. It's quite a recommended book. Otherwise, Majid Hussain is also very, very good. Indian geography, world geography. Yourself learn to use maps and atlas and globe. And apart from the same time, you can also use Spectrum book. No issues. Polity, the standard recommendation is Lakshmikant. I always prefer, I have preferred Lakshmikant throughout. For revision, you can use test series from McGraw Hill or Spectrum or any other company that's providing you a good quality practice question. Online also, you have lots of questions available. Looking at science. Class 10th, NCRT is a same thick science book. It has everything, physics, chemistry, bio. So either use the Spectrum of science. Spectrum series is good in science, or you can use separately class 11th chemistry book, biology. The last 4 to 5 chapters of class 12 are very good for environment. This is NCRT. Now, looking at economics, I never prefer a standard single book. I would say grade 11th and grade 12th economics should be sufficient, including grade 10th, yes. Should be sufficient. Rest is all based on current affairs. But these chapters will tell you a lot about RBI, monetary policy, fiscal policy, IMF, structural adjustment program, currency. That's enough. Then NCERT. This is a very good book. It's for polity. It's called Contemporary World Politics. It's an orange color book. And very beautifully, it has described everything that happened in India from 1947 up till 1985. The Rajiv Gandhi regime is there. Indira Gandhi emergency period is there. Integration of princely states is there. India's basic non-alignment policy is there. How Nehruji passed away and suddenly Shastriji became the prime minister. How he spearheaded the Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, your Green Revolution, Operation Flood, that milk revolution. All that is included. It's a very good perspective to have a background on India's international affairs and current and foreign policy. So use that. And ultimately, as I always say, at Study IQ, everyone is trying to compile everything together with the latest updated statistics. So if you are interested in taking up a kind of guidance where, like me, like myself, all other teachers can guide you with a one-on-one mentorship through GS1, through CSAT, and through basic personality guidance for the future mains interview, covering all the GS as well as CSAT questions, practice, revision, then this here it could be a very good option for you. It's 5499, but it provides you up till June 2026 absolutely free consultation, guidance, 24/7 mentorship. It's a crash course, but aggressive course to cover all GS, all CSAT. Sale is ending 30th November. If anybody should be interested, please use the code SPLIVE. SP Live. This is our Achievers Day sale. Okay. So that's all from my side. Now, please let me know if there's any other question. All right. Terukula has something to say. The hard part is answer writing. All right. Okay. That's okay, Terukula. But handwriting is not something that, you are going to get any exclusive marks. It should be legible. You should be able to, form the letters in such a way that you are reading and the examiner is not really struggling to read them. If you want to sit and practice on that, that also can be done. Twice a week exclusively. Read something, an editorial page, or whatever you've read in any GS chapter, try forcefully to go slow. Just work on the word formation. Good handwriting is not an achievement. It's about just making the words the way they are. Problem comes when we try to disturb the formation of the word. If we know that AC is written like this, it's we who try to deviate from that. So do a cursive approach or a block letter approach and try to write twice a week short paragraphs. That will help you in two ways. You are also practicing for mains and essay writing, and you are also trying to work on your word formation. Start slowly and then make it a commitment that even if I'm writing fast, I will make sure that my writing momentum is legible. It should be readable, that's it. Not to spend extra time on a good one, but readable and neat should be enough. Okay, so begin with that and begin twice a week. Slowly it will come up. Okay, 2025 you're talking about. All right. Okay, so we are talking about which year did you say was difficult? 1 second, the comments have gone up. Right, 2025, they asked critical analysis in reading comprehension. We need to answer those which is opposite to no, Terukula, no. What you're saying, critical analysis, is something that I call as inference-based question. So when I teach reading comprehension, I have started doing classes from yesterday. I teach that there are three kinds of questions that you get in comprehension of CSAT. One is passage based, second is theme based, and the third is inference based. Words like corollary, critical analysis, implication, argument, suggestion, all these are called inference based questions. You need to use technology, separate method for that. You don't have to give the opposite answer. You need to understand how do you make a logical conclusion based on what the passage says. These passages are very tough and they are also very abstract. They pick up 3-4 lines from newspaper editorials and give it to you. And that's why you need to make a conclusion on the base of these evidences. These passages are not English stories, they are case studies. Okay, so there's a separate method we use for that. I said 6.5 method, that's needed. So in case you want future guidance on that, you can definitely contact us here. I'd love to help you there. Okay, now which other comment was coming? Aspirant says, study optional in my degree first year or later. You can see it later also. It's very early for you, aspirant. If you're still in the first year of college, it's good to start with NCERT. It's good to start enjoying the news. And I see every day that you do enjoy the news. Build on that practice. Learn to engage with map and current affairs. There is still time. By the time you reach the last year of college, you can still then begin preparing thoroughly for the optional. In the meantime, be very sure which optional are you choosing and scan the entire syllabus. Look at some PYQs and see which you relate to better. You have a lot of time. You can wait. Right now, focus on GS, please. Okay? Right now, focus on the GS, please. All right. Any other questions? Does anybody have? Right. There's a question from... Okay. PYQ of CSAT. Will it be enough for CSAT, quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning, comprehension? Not the numerical segment. No, if you cover all the PYQs of the CSAT exam, all of them, they are enough for CSAT comprehension. They are enough for reasoning, but they are not enough for numerical ability. For quantitative aptitude, you need to practice chapters. Therefore, we recommend books like R.S. Agarwal, or we recommend taking up a short coaching, like a crash course that we are offering you here, where the teacher will come and give you the methods and shortcuts and tricks to solve these maths questions. Time-saving mechanism. Only PYQs are not going to help. Not for maths for sure. But for other, they can help. Okay. So that's it. Is there any other question anybody wants to ask? Any other question that anybody wants to ask? Okay, we are almost done with the session then. Remember, even if you haven't started yet, it's the time you can still start from 1st December onwards. You can. All right then. A quick question from Srishti, after that we close. Second year student, okay. Trouble while reading newspaper, proper manner, even if I read Indian Express. No problem, Srishti. Have you ever tried joining the Hindu news analysis with us? The idea of the analysis is to make these topics easy for you. It's a difficult language. So if you join, we can break those articles down to you in an easy manner so that you understand what those articles are saying. Plus, we ask you a question based on that. Try coming up for the analysis session. If you think you enjoy, it's easy for you, wonderful. Otherwise, also future will keep having sessions in which we will make you understand how to comprehend. Ultimately, reading articles of newspaper is same thing like reading comprehension. Maybe the comprehension paragraph classes will also help you a lot in reading newspapers properly. Okay? Definitely, I'll try to make it for you too. Okay? I'll do that, aspirant. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. All right, then I take your leave for now. The time is up. If there's any other question, you can let me know in the morning class. Thank you, Diptesh. All right, Srishti. All right, aspirant. Thank you so much. God bless. I'll see you later then. Bye bye. Okay, bye bye, Terukula. And Dishank. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow with the class. Yes. Okay.
The recording has stopped.